Eric Partaker has over 1 million followers and he's making millions of dollars from his content, but his YouTube channel is dead. He hasn't uploaded for over a year, and even his videos before then barely got a couple thousand views. So I spent over 12 hours researching and creating a YouTube strategy that would allow him to build trust at scale and turn YouTube into an absolute lead generating machine for his business. This is what I'm going to be showing in this video. So without further ado, let's jump in. So Eric is already crushing it when it comes to content. He has over 1 million followers on LinkedIn. He has 235,000 newsletter subscribers, and he's known as the most established CEO coach in the world. So he's already crushing it clearly, but when it comes to his YouTube channel, there's no consistency and there's barely any traction. You can see that he last uploaded over a year ago. He had a couple thousand views on most of his videos, but compared to his audience size, this is nothing. So let's just get into the strategy. And the goal of the YouTube strategy I would implement for Eric would be to replicate the same success that he has with written content, but on YouTube. So you can see that when you go on YouTube and look for similar topics that he's talking about in his already existing content, like how to manage your time as a CEO, how to lead others, how to hire, all of that stuff, you can see that there are many videos with hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of views, but sometimes even millions of views. So there's a lot of search volume, there's a lot of demand for videos exactly like this, and this traction is all coming from people who could be his ideal clients. And the thing is that there's no reason why Eric couldn't be the one getting these results, and that's what we've done for our clients. So for Adam Robinson, for example, for guys like Nicholas Boucher, for guys like Taylor Heron, for Christian Vatic, you can see that we've been able to create videos like this that are just getting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views in their specific niche. So the first thing to talk about here is YouTube positioning. Positioning is the absolute foundation of getting results like the ones I showed you on YouTube. Now, positioning just means that we know who we target, we know what pain points we solve, we know how we solve them, and we also know how we are different. The reason this is so important is because this will feed our video ideas, the packaging, the actual content inside the videos, etc. And without this, we can't actually create an effective strategy. So we need to get very clear on this first. Now, for Eric, here's the positioning that would perform best based on his already existing content. This is based on analyzing all of his LinkedIn posts from the last 1 to 2 years and the performance of them. First of all, who we target. So this would be founders and CEOs of scaling companies in the $1 to $20 million revenue range. This is the massive middle stage where you've outgrown the founder mode, but you haven't built a real CEO operating system. This is where Eric can really help these people. Now, the second thing is pain points we solve. So this will be things like losing your best people, hiring the wrong ones, stuck at a growth ceiling, working in the business but not on it, a team that can't articulate the strategy, burnout creeping into a job you used to love, all of that stuff. Thirdly, how we actually solve these. So these will be very concrete CEO operating systems and different frameworks, all drawn from the hundreds of CEOs that Eric coached. There will be no motivational stuff. This will be actual playbooks for hiring, retention, strategy, time, culture, all of these topics that Eric is the best at. And the last thing is how we are different. Most leadership content on YouTube is built for middle managers or just vaguely entrepreneurs in general. But Eric's content is specifically for CEOs by someone who's actually lived this. So he's been at Skype, McKinsey, and he's now coaching it, obviously, the hundreds of CEOs that he's coaching. And from all of this, we can create our North Star positioning statement, which in Eric's case will be the YouTube channel for CEOs by the CEO coach. Now, you might think that these are not really important and let's just get into the actual strategy and the videos, but this is the absolute foundation. If you don't have clarity here, you won't be able to create an effective YouTube strategy that attracts the right type of people, speaks to the right problems, and is able to actually generate leads at the end of the day. So now that we have that, let's get into the video ideas. And here are the content buckets that cover Eric's best performing LinkedIn posts as well as the best performing YouTube videos in this space. That's the combination we want. So already proven content from Eric's past content, and then looking at YouTube and finding already proven videos in that same space. So the first bucket is people, so everything from hiring to retention. A couple of great video ideas here would be I've hired 2,000 plus people. Here's what I learned. This will be a very big number, of course, that Eric can actually lead with because he has his experience, and then just making this video extremely valuable. What to do when your best employee quits. This is a very frequent problem that Eric talks about in his content, and it's definitely a burning problem that his ICP has. And the third one, how to hire only the best people, 7 interview questions. So again, all about hiring and giving CEOs the right playbooks to find and hire the right type of people. Second bucket is strategy plus scaling. So this will be all about business growth. The first one, how to grow a business from $1 to $10 million CEO roadmap. Again, that's the exact stage where Eric helps most of his clients. So this is what we want to target from this 7-figure to 8-figure range. On Another great one, 20 years of CEO knowledge in 14 minutes. Again, super thought leadership, just leveraging his experience. The third video ideas bucket would be CEO operating system. So this will be all about time management, meetings, productivity. The first title I put here is being a CEO is hard until you build systems like this. This is a very, very proven title in the YouTube space, with some of the best performing videos having similar title structures, and we can perfectly adapt it in the CEO space. Second one, how to run your week like $1 billion CEO. Again, same thing, very attractive title, and a lot of similar videos have already crushed it on YouTube. But of course, we would make all of these unique and share Eric's own strategies, but when it comes to the actual video titles, we want to look at what has already worked. Fourth bucket, culture plus leadership. So this will be 7 signs you're a toxic boss without realizing it, and give me 70 minutes and I'll make you a top 1% CEO. Again, these topics are super relevant for what he's talking about and what he's teaching CEOs. So now that we have the actual video ideas, I want to architect a winning YouTube video step by step. Now, to create winning YouTube videos, you must nail the title, the thumbnail, the format, the content, and the call to action. So let's go through each of these using one of the video ideas from before as an example. So that one will be how to grow a business from $1 million to $10 million CEO roadmap. Now, we've created a thumbnail for this that will work extremely well. First of all, this thumbnail format is proven to work already on YouTube. If you look at Alex Hormozzi's best performing videos, you can see multiple of these has this sort of blueprint style thumbnail, and this is performing extremely well. Also, it tells rather than shows. You can see it's just visual, and it's also very simple and easy to understand, super visual with the drawings, and it also suggests value, which just means that whenever people look at this, the blueprint, the different drawings, etc., they can expect that you will break down difficult concepts, you will make it easy to understand, and you will just go deep and share value. That's what we want to convey through a thumbnail. Now, after that, there will be the format. There are many different formats on YouTube. So there's talking head, vlog, podcast, screen share presentations, animated videos, and different formats work well for different niches. For example, animated for documentary videos or vlogs for lifestyle videos. But when it comes to educational videos about business growth, being a CEO, etc., so like all the different topics that we'll talk about, the format that just works best is talking head videos. If you look at all of the biggest channels right now in this niche, all of them are pushing primarily just sit down talking head videos with, of course, editing and showing different stuff, but primarily the format is just them sitting down and talking into the camera. So that should be the format that we use for most of our videos. Now let's go to content, and nailing the content inside your YouTube video really comes down to 3 things. First of all, the value. So the word value is pretty vague. I like to think of it as useful. So the more useful your video is to your ICP, the better it will perform. Simple as that. The second one is structure. So if you look at any of the videos above that I showed here, they always structure their videos in a very particular way. So this can be 5 lessons, 7 steps, 4 pillars, because breaking your content down into parts or frameworks is the best way to teach. You're already great at this, of course. You have a ton of different frameworks. You always do that in your existing written LinkedIn content and all of the other stuff that you do. So we would just need to translate that into the YouTube videos. And then the third one is authenticity. So this became the most important recently out of these 3. And that's because there are more creators than ever. So you need to show proof of why people should listen to you. And because of that, we'll be leading with claims like advising Fortune 50 CEOs, being named CEO of the year, working with 100+ companies, all of that stuff. So we definitely want to lead with credibility like that. Now, the last part is the call to action. Every video needs to have one specific next step. We send people to using call to actions. Now, you have a newsletter, you have lead magnet, and you have your accelerator program. But out of these, I would recommend going with a lead magnet like this. And this would be extremely relevant for all of the video topics that you'll be talking about, because it will be the biggest immediate value add. So this will be a bigger value add than just signing up for your newsletter or applying for your accelerator program. This will give them some sort of value right away. And it's also very low friction because they can just go into the description, take it for free, and then get the value. So how do we make call to actions in YouTube videos that actually convert? It's very simple. We make 2 specific call to actions in each video. So the first CTA is at the 33% mark of the video. And we can say something like, by the way, if you want to find out exactly where you stand as a CEO and get a personalized roadmap to scale your company, I'll leave a link to my free scale score assessment in the description. Now back to the video. You can see that it's very brief, very short. We don't want people to click away here, but we still want to mention that we have something for them. Then there's the second call to action at the very end. And this can be something like, now, if you want to know exactly what's holding your company back from scaling, then click the first link in the description and take my free scale score assessment. It's a 5-minute assessment that scores you across the key areas of growing a company and gives you a personalized report on where to focus next. Over X CEOs have already taken it, so this will be over 1,000, over 100, whatever. So again, if you want to take it, I'll leave a link for that down below. And if you want to learn more about scaling your company, then watch this video next. And this is exactly how you should make call to actions inside YouTube videos. We see that this framework has the highest conversion rates out of everything you can say. Now that we architected the perfect YouTube video, how do we actually fit our videos into Eric's entire content ecosystem? He's already creating LinkedIn posts, newsletters, lead magnets, podcasts, Instagram posts, so just a bunch of content. And the wrong way to do YouTube is doing it in a silo. The smart way to do YouTube is to fit it into the content you're already creating, so it becomes a content flywheel. Here's how Eric can do that. So first of all, using already existing content to create scripts. Every single topic that Eric would talk about in videos is covered by hundreds of pieces of content. The most efficient way to create videos will be to turn those content pieces into YouTube optimized scripts and then simply just record them. This way, there's zero extra content needed to be created, and YouTube just becomes a byproduct of the content that Eric already produces. Now, we did the same thing for guys like Adam Robinson or Taylor Herron. They had a bunch of content already, but not on YouTube. This was in the form of LinkedIn posts, in the form of newsletters, and we just took that and used it to create YouTube videos for them without them having to create any extra content.
Like, I'm genuinely not doing more than like 4 hours a month total on this. And what's also really nice is that I can batch it.
You know, it's taking me no longer than an hour a week to do so, which I think is totally worth it.
Now, the second point is leverage your already existing audience. Eric has over 1 million followers, and with the right strategy, he can leverage his audience to grow 10 times faster on YouTube than he would otherwise. Plus, his followers are mostly used to reading his LinkedIn posts, so them seeing long-form YouTube videos from Eric delivering a ton of value would build a lot more trust with them. Now, we have clients with 50,000 plus, 100,000 plus, and even 1 million plus followers like Adam Robinson or Nicholas Boucher. And here's a strategy we've seen working best to promote YouTube videos. First of all, plugging YouTube videos into newsletters work great. Creating a valuable LinkedIn post that links to a YouTube video also works extremely well to just drive more traffic. And same thing with putting it up on Instagram stories. All of these boost the videos, which also helps YouTube know who to push it out to, because it's seeing who's the ideal viewer for that specific video. Now, these small things that I covered here would allow Eric to get the benefits of YouTube even in the first few months, because he already has a huge audience. So if he starts creating YouTube videos with the right strategy, he will be able to see more trust, shorter sales cycles, and just overall better conversions across his entire marketing and content. But then if he follows this blueprint and stays consistent, there's no reason why he couldn't turn YouTube into one of his top lead generation channels for his business in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, I hope you're watching this, Eric, and this was at least somewhat valuable. And again, you can implement this strategy that I explained with either an in-house team or finding a YouTube expert, or you can work with someone like us that will just implement this entire thing for you. But yeah, either way, I hope you got some value out of it. And if you're not Eric and you're still watching it, then I also hope that you got a couple of nuggets away that you can implement inside your own YouTube strategy. But yeah, with that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.